Oh man, I got dirt on my new shoes. Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. I hope you all are well. I have not done one of these in a while, which is a shoe review. So today we're going to be talking about the Sportiva Akyra. How are we going to say that? Let's just go with Akyra. Mountain running shoe. There it is. Alright, so I purchased the Akyra running shoes myself with my own money. They weren't given to me. I need to say that right off the bat. And I wear, you know, my other favorite shoe by these guys is the TX3s, the approach shoes. I think they're fantastic. And I've done multiple videos on these shoes. I usually go about a half size bigger. So I did the same thing. I wear 10. I went with a 10.5 plus. As you can see here, that seems to fit really well. It gives me just a little more, I believe, but I prefer the 10.5 plus. These are the mountain running shoes, the Akyra mountain running shoes. Am I a trail runner? Not really. Nah, can't say I really care for running too much, but I do a lot of hiking, and the approach shoes work good. Sometimes I think these are a little lighter than the approach shoes. So here are the TX3s, the Sportivas, and of course the Akyra trail running. So they're a different shoe, obviously. And as I mentioned just now, the weight, the TX3 weighs, I believe, under 13 ounces for the men's, and the Akyra weighs, under 12 ounces. I think it's like 11.7. So it is a lighter shoe for sure. And you can see the tread on it. Pretty aggressive. Absolutely. Get a little view of that. Definitely aggressive. Is it sticky? I don't know. I didn't really go messing around on the slick rock or anything with these yet. Would it be as sticky as the TX3? Probably not, because it's a different type of shoe. This is a mountain running shoe. This is a, you know, an approach, kind of a canyoneering shoe. So, you know, apples and oranges, right? I'm just kind of using the TX3 for a couple references, but I've got some frogs over here in the pond. That's what you're hearing. So why did I go with a trail running shoe? Well, I just wanted something to hike in when I'm not carrying lots of weight, if I'm on a trail or things of that nature, and I needed a new shoe anyway, and I decided to go with pair of the Sportiva Akyras just because they looked interesting. They were light. They looked like they'd be very comfortable. It's got the Ortholite sole in it, as you can see there, and the sole, of course, is the material is very spongy. It seems like it'd be very comfortable. So I took these out earlier for a little walk. Had the dog with me. Jim was with me. Just to give them about 1.5 miles, just to give them a quick test, see how they were, and they were extremely comfortable. I'm not sure if they make a wide version of these. I definitely felt a little pressure right there on this side, but I had them laced up pretty tight, so I'll loosen it up a little bit and give it another try. I don't understand the laces. They're very thin. I mean, really? I don't see them lasting long. This shoe costs $140. I mean, whatever, it is what it is, but the way things are made anymore, I just see things that should probably come apart easy, and the laces are one of the ones that, like, let's take a look at the TX3 lace real quick. You know, you got a thick lace. These are original laces with the shoe for a couple of years, and they're still there. I don't think the lace with this shoe is gonna, you know, last. Is that a big deal? Well, I mean, sure it is. You know, it's just something that's one more thing you got to deal with when you're trying to tie this up. You're 2 miles in and the lace pops out. You need to carry laces with you then, right? Yeah, sure. But, you know, it's just little things that I think about when I'm picking up the shoe, and the laces I'm not very fond of, but that's me. And then you've got the stitching in here where the laces go through like this. Will that last? Maybe. We'll see. For 140 bucks, I hope it lasts for a while at least. You know, you want to get at least a year out of something like this. Now, as I mentioned, the shoe's really light, so won't be a problem. I mean, it is a running shoe, so they need to be light. You've got mesh all through here, all through here. When I see this, what I think of is if you get in the sand, this shoe's going to suck the sand into it. It will suck the sand and your shoe will become full of sand. That's just the nature of the beast. It's the same thing with the TX3s that I hate. I mean, I love the shoe, but it's the one thing that just kind of drives me crazy. They fill up with sand really easy, but that's just going to happen, man. I mean, you got to shed weight somehow, and that is one way to do it. But, you know, other than that, I'm curious to see. It looks like it's stitched really well on the front here, all the way throughout. These are all points that separate eventually, or quickly, depending on the shoe, who knows. And we'll see. It doesn't have a Vibram sole like the TX3 does. It's just got its own La Sportiva sole there. So we'll see how long that lasts. Like I said, I just put 1.5 miles on them. Just got them. They're brand new. Got a little dust on them. So we're just getting into it. And as you just saw, I did a little walk-in, did a little run-in, did a little jumping in them. And they were extremely comfortable. So I have high hopes for them. I hope they last a while. Also, like I mentioned, I buy a little bigger just in case if I need to wear a thicker sock or something or of that nature. I don't have a problem with it. And these I just wore with some ankle socks and they fit fine, even though I got them a half size larger. So I think we're going to be good. Tongue in it, it's pretty thick. Let's look in there. Yeah. Looks like it's just glued throughout here and the stitching around. I don't know. We'll see how they do. I'll do another review after, 6 months or something, a follow-up to see how they held up, and we'll put them through the test, see what's going on. So the two things that strike me right off the bat is they're light. I wanted that. They're extremely light. That's great for sure. And also, I really like their aggressive tread. As you can see there. Now the question is how long will that last? And will the shoe separate in the places that normally separate? How long will that take to happen? So these questions I will hopefully be able to answer in some time after I have this shoe for a while. So after my little 1.5 mile jaunt with these, immediately what came to mind was how light the shoe is and how comfortable the shoe was. So that's good. But 1.5 miles isn't very long. We need to take these out farther, do just a little more aggressive hiking in them, if you will, and we'll see how they end up. Okay, continuing on with the shoes. We're gonna head down into a wash and try running over some boulders and stuff like that, see how sticky the shoe is. I don't think it's gonna be very sticky, but just see the comfort too, as well as running and walking over some obstacles. And I've got my pups to aid me in this test. So here we go. Oh, this is good. A lot of rocks and also in deep sand as well, so I'll get to see if the shoes suck up the sand because of that mesh. And they're feeling pretty good. Yeah, they stick pretty good on the stones, so that's good. I do like about the shoes is they're really light. Nice cushy sole too. Well, some pretty good shock absorption, I have to say. I'm enjoying it. Enjoying the shoe immensely. All right, well, We'll do a stick test real quick. Oh man, you know, they are pretty sticky, to be honest with you. Go down. That'll do. They are pretty sticky, to be honest with you. So that's good. Granted, this is sandstone and it's dry, so you know your results may vary. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty sticky. They're keeping me. I'm not sliding down, so I'd say for what their purpose is, I think they probably stick good enough. Yeah, so I've been going through the sand too for maybe quite a bit, and I'm not feeling any buildup in the shoe sand wise, so maybe they won't suck in the sand really bad. I'm sure there's going to be some in there, but yeah, I mean, if I'm 10 miles in the deep sand, of course they're going to fill with sand. There's no way around that, but just like this, I'm not feeling any buildup inside like against my toes or anything, so that's good. Yeah, working pretty good. There we go. Yeah, that'll work all right. All right, well, let's take a minute, see if we got any sand built up in there. Wow, hardly any. That's quite surprising. Forget the panting dog, but that was a little bit. I mean, walking in the sand, you're gonna get sand in your shoe, something, but there's no buildup, so it's impressive. Quite impressive. Check the other one real quick. Imagine I'm gonna find the same thing, which is not much. Not even any buildup at the bottom. Right on. And you can have a look at that tread too. Yep, pretty aggressive. And actually pretty sticky as well. Yep. This shoe will work. So on the first walk with these, I was feeling some pressure right here, and I just had the shoe laced too tight. I loosened it up here, but kept it tight here, and I'm not having any discomfort at all as far as right at that point being it. Like I thought the shoe might have been too narrow, but no, it's not. It's totally comfortable now that I loosened it a little bit. So that's not a problem. At this point, I feel like I could just go for 10 more miles, and I think my feet would be just peachy. So I have full confidence in the comfort of the shoe. I'm enjoying the lightness of the shoe. I'm enjoying the cushion when I'm jumping down off things and moving around quickly. The shoe seems to be quite sticky, or sticky enough. You know, I don't intend to like descend canyons with it, but hey, you never know. So thus far, I am impressed and enjoying it. So I think it's, you know, like I said, I dropped 140 on it, and you know, we'll see how long it lasts. I'm not going to be working on nice grassy trails or anything like that. I mean, the terrain's pretty unforgiving out here in the Southwest, so I might shred the shoe quicker. I don't know. That remains to be seen. So if I didn't mention this before, there really is no braking required with these shoes. I mean, they're ready to go out the box. And I just cranked out, what, a couple 3 miles in the sand and rocks, and no discomfort whatsoever. So where I thought the shoe might have been too narrow on the initial walk, like I said a little while ago, I loosened up the shoe and then tightened near the top with the tongue. Had no problems, no discomfort, no like pressure points or hot spots or anything. So shoe's good to go right out the box. And I think I'll do one more little test with I'll put on a pack with a little weight and maybe do some uphill walking and see how that rolls. But thus far, the shoe's excellent, and I think it's going to be great for what I intend to use it for, which is some trail work and hiking, stuff like that. I think it'll be fine. And one more little test with the Akyra shoe. I'm going to, excuse me, right up in front of me is Red Mountain. I'm gonna hike up half of that thing, just off to the left here. It's not very far. I've got my assistant Phoenix with me, so it should be interesting with her. But I mainly just want to see how the shoe feels on steepness and see if it slips, because it's a steep hike up to the top of Red Mountain. Halfway up is still steep, but it plateaus out for a second. And I just want to see how it is going up, the shoe sticks, and then coming down, of course. Like I mentioned, I generally buy approach shoes, hiking shoes, boots, whatever, a half size larger. So I just want to make sure that my toes won't dig in to the tip of the shoe, the front of the shoe. I don't think it will. Like I said, half size larger, I should be just fine. And then that'll be a wrap on the testing, I think. And then I say we're just good to go. Yeah, we're getting a little sidetracked here. She's found the lizard. We'll get back to the testing here in 1 second. She's gripping pretty good. Can you keep going? Go on. Go. Yeah. Come on, come on. Let's go. Good girl. Steep, no doubt. Well, no complaints on the shoe going up. Grips well, light, cushiony. It'll do the trick. See how it is coming down. But yeah, doing all right. All right, this is about as far as I really need to get. So it's a steep start. And shoes did what they're supposed to. They gripped, they dug in, and slip around on me. That's all I need. So now about a third of the way up. That's going to be good. It gets a little interesting right here, so I'm not going to take her on that. But going back down, very steep, and I just want to see if my feet will dig into the toe box, or my toes that is. So should be good to go. All right, very well. No toes in the toe box. Yep, they'll do. All right, well, that's it for this round of testing. I got a couple of things going on. There's some construction behind me, and then I've got a pond pump. So those are the noises in the background. So about the La Sportiva Akyra shoe, I guess when it comes down to it, is it worth the $140? Sure. We'll see. I think it is. Looking forward to hopefully getting a year of heavy use out of them. When I mean heavy use, out here in the Southwest, the terrain I'll be using it on is pretty rugged, jagged, so I'm sure it's going to slice the shoe up pretty good. I can only presume I'd get a good year out of them with that type of use on the type of terrain I'll be using them in. But we shall see. The cons, let's just talk about some of the cons I felt with the shoe. Originally, I did not like the laces. I don't know. They just didn't do it for me. But after using them for the last 3 times, these testing, the laces are fine, really. Do I think they'll last? Probably not, but most laces don't. You know, they'll get rubbed or braided and pop, but everything's remaining to be seen at this point. The shoe, yeah, it does suck up sand. Not as bad as I thought originally with all the mesh and everything, but yeah, you get sand in the shoe, but if you're hiking in sand, you're gonna get sand in the shoe anyway. So what do you know, what can you do about it? And yeah, I guess that's really it for cons. I mean, it's got a big cushy sole. The tread, oh, got sand pouring all out. Let's see what the tread looks like after some usage. Still doesn't look like it's been affected at all. But yeah, and I always wonder about these, you know, and the stitching in it. You know, how long will that really hold? And you know, it just depends, really. We shall see. But like I'm saying, for $140, I kind of would have liked to have a Vibram sole, but I don't know if you can get a Vibram sole like this, you know, all cushy and everything. Maybe you can. I know in other shoes they have it, but yeah, who knows? But this will have to do, and perhaps it will do. Perhaps it'll do just fine. We'll see, of course. So there you have it. The La Sportiva Akyra trail running mountain shoe. I think it's pretty dope. I think it'll work just fine. All right, folks. This concludes the first round of testing. I'll be back with a follow-up video for these shoes in a year, maybe shorter, after I really use the heck out of them, and we'll see what they look like. We'll see if they make it a year. Folks, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for sticking with us. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. We will see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.